Ronnie Gibbs out. The toss. The ball game is underway as Johnny Cox gets it just in Kentucky's front court. Passes her over to Jerry Calvert as the ball game is underway. Calvert moves down the right side with Illinois in a man-to-man defense. Outside to Hatton. High pass in the pivot to Beck. Holds it up over his head. Can't find anybody open. Spins around. Takes a jump shot over Bonsall. It's good. Ed Beck scores the first field goal of the ball game as Kentucky leads by 2-0. Back in front court is Don Ole of Illinois. Down the left side to Schmidt. Outside to Taylor. Back to Ole on the left side, looking for Bonsall in the pivot with Beck in behind him. Taylor shoots out of the left corner and misses. Krigler rebounds for Kentucky. Passes over to Vernon Hatton. Moves up in front court for the Wildcats. Angles down the right side, pulls two men in on him. Passes to Krigler in the right corner, moves out, feeds Beck. 15 feet away to the right. He takes another jump shot. It's good. Ed Beck with 2 field goals gives Kentucky a 4-0 lead. The Wildcats get away on a good footing. Roger Taylor of Illinois down the left side to Harv Schmidt. He's got Johnny Cox on him. Pass to Bonsall in the pivot, turns, shoots over Beck. No good, bounces high off the rim. It's tapped up by Schmidt, no good. And a jump ball as Krigler and Schmidt both hit the floor. Beck moves out to help Schmidt up and gets a pat on the back for the assistance. Schmidt of Illinois at 6'6". Jumping against Krigler, who's only 6'3", gives Illinois 3 inches height advantage in their own free throw line. Here's the toss to tap to Bill Altenberger of Illinois. Down the right side, jump shot over Cox. Bounces off the rim to Harv Schmidt. He takes one over Krigler that's no good and short. Knocked high in the air by Bonsall. It's saved in, but right into the hands of Hatton by Roger Taylor of Illinois. Hatton lets the defense pour by, then moves to the top of the circle, flips to Calvert, moves to the left, pulls up, gives to Hatton. Down the right side to Krigler, back to Hatton. Calvert goes through, Hatton watches him, feeds to Cox. Here's a 20-foot jump shot. It's good. Johnny Cox strikes from the outside. Kentucky 6, Illinois 0. Roger Taylor moving back for the Illini. Passes over to Don Ole down the right side to Altenberger. Back out to Ole. In the pivot to Bonsall. Fakes, breaks, hooks a high one up there that's no good. Johnny Cox and Hatton go for it and get it. Hatton comes out of there and across the arms foul against Illinois. George Bonsall committing the first foul of the ball game. Here's a late score. Kansas has won another one. They beat Wisconsin 21 points. Kansas 83, Wisconsin 62 tonight. Here's Vernon Hatton on the Kentucky free throw line for one shot. Kentucky with a 6-0 lead as Hatton sights, cautiously flips it up too hard and comes out of there to Bonsall of Illinois. We've played 1 minute 55 seconds. 3 field goals, 2 by Ed Beck, the other by Johnny Cox, has given Kentucky a 6-0 lead. Don Ole of Illinois down the left side to Altenberger. Back to Ole, out deep and way to the left. Passes in to Schmidt, who breaks into the pivot. Can't get a shot away, gives out, and a shot by Taylor, no good off to the right side. Fight for the ball as it comes down. Calvert slaps it down into the middle. Now Johnny Cox picks it up and protects it. Gives it to Ed Beck, up to Vernon Hatton in front court. Breaks right, goes to the baseline with Altenberger on him. Hands Calvert wide open, lays it in. Jerry Calvert drops in his first field goal. Kentucky 8, Illinois 0 after 2.5 minutes. Up in front court, Don Ole of Illinois breaks right, almost loses the ball, but Altenberger saves. In the pivot to Bonsall, hooked over to Ole, jump shot, it rolls around and comes out. Bonsall taps it in. George Bonsall of Illinois breaks the scoring ice for the Illini. After 2 minutes and 40 seconds, Kentucky leads 8-2 with Calvert wheeling back into the attack court. Over to Hatton, deep into the left, now bounce to Johnny Cox, out to Calvert. 35-foot set shot is no good. Beck taps out of bounds, goes to Illinois. Medals and tags hanging around the neck of Bonsall, both down his back and down his chest. Up in front court, Ole to the left side to Schmidt. Back to Ole in the corner, gets away from Hatton and hooks it back short. No good. Fight for the ball. Krigler of Kentucky fights out with it. Passes up to Jerry Calvert, moving into the Illinois defense. Cuts to the right side. Then Taylor goes for him. He comes by him, shoots. Bonsall blocks. Cox picks it up in the bounce. Takes a one-bounce dribble, falls away, and misses a one-hander. Taken off by Don Ole of Illinois. Up the way to Altenberger, moving down the left side of the offensive court. Krigler moves out to get him. He threatens to go. Quickly, jump shot, no good. Stabbed out of bounds by Harv Schmidt of Illinois. Kentucky gets it, still leading 8-2, as timeout is taken by Illinois. It's the first timeout in the ball game. With a score, Kentucky 8, Illinois 2. 16 minutes, 25 seconds here in the first half. Leading the way is Ed Beck with 2 field goals. Johnny Cox has 1. Jerry Calvert has 1. For Illinois, George Bonsall has the only field goal. Ed Beck started it with 2 jump shots, one from 10 feet, the other from 12. Johnny Cox hit from 20 feet. Vernon Hatton, fouled by Bonsall, missed the free throw. But the next trip down the court, Jerry Calvert went in on a crip shot with a beautiful pass from Vernon Hatton to make it 8-0. Then, with 17 minutes, 17 seconds to go, Bonsall of Illinois hit the only field goal for the Illini so far. So the Wildcats are out on top 8-2 in a much better start than they were able to get generated for the Southern Methodist game last night. Illinois huddling up around Coach Harry Combs right now to see if they can get the spark they need. As we go back to play, the ball is in the possession of Kentucky at the baseline in backcourt, which means right under the Illinois basket. Adolph Rupp comes up to have just a last-second word to Vernon Hatton. As Hatton mows out, Calvert whips to him, letter high, and Hatton, a junior, mows up in front court, crisscrosses and cuts back to the right with a pass to Krigler that's knocked down by Old, but picked up by Krigler and hit to Calvert. Over to Cox, breaks in, hooks, and he hit it. Johnny Cox with his second field goal gives Kentucky the lead at 10-2. Cox, unable to hit last night, has come out with 2 field goals here tonight to match Ed Beck. 8-point Kentucky lead, the second one of the game. Bonsall of Illinois mows right, faces back, and a jump shot no good, short. Beck rebounds, hands off to Jerry Calvert. Calvert moving up past the dividing line, passes left side to Hatton. He hands to Beck at the top of the circle, then takes it away. Just Beck barely touching it. Outside deep to Calvert now, swings to the right, passes to Krigler, moving out, gives to Hatton. He sets, here's a 30-footer, no good. Bounces to the left of Bonsall of Illinois. Hooks her out to Taylor. They're running down the right side with Taylor being left open. He sets and fires from 20 feet, no good. Up for the rebound is Hatton, getting it away from Bonsall. High one to Krigler, moving in front court. Pivots, can't get in for the fast break and gives over to Calvert, crossing the line. Calvert sets it up now, backing away, moving to the left, passing to Cox. He moves in, back out to Hatton, cuts down the left side, pulls up, Cox moves in, Hatton goes to the baseline, passes to Beck, 20-foot jump shot, no good. Knocked off by Don Old of Illinois. Over to Roger Taylor. He's in the attack court for the Illini. Calvert picking him up shallow, pass to Bonsall, right into the hands of Ed Beck as Bonsall was not looking for it. And after 5 minutes, Kentucky leads 10-2 and moving back to the attack. Calvert down the right side to Johnny Cox. Outside to Vernon Hatton. He sets and moves down the right side. Goes to the baseline with Harv Schmidt on him. Pulls up, double team, can't shoot. Bounce pass to Beck off the right to Cox. Here's the jump shot, no good. Rebounding Don Old of Illinois, who's been doing very well on that defensive backboard. Kentucky leads 8-2. Back up in front court, Bonsall on the pivot gives to Altenberger, who hooks it up, no good. Comes out, Beck rebounds, and Bonsall fouls him from the rear. It's the second foul of the game, and both on big 6'8" George Bonsall of Illinois. 14 minutes and 38 seconds in this first half. Kentucky 10, Illinois 2. Ed Beck on the Kentucky free throw line for the first time in this ball game. Beck got the first 2 field goals of the game on jump shots from around the free throw line. Now Beck in with the right foot up on the line. The left one pulled well back, shoots and hits. Beck is the leading scorer in the ball game with 5 points. As he tries for the bonus shot, Kentucky has a lead of 9 points. Beck's bonus shot good. Kentucky takes its longest lead of the game, 10 points, 12-2. They've had 2 8-point lead. This is the first one they've been able to fatten up to 10. Down the right side, Krigler takes it away from Altenberger, goes in wide open and missed it. Comes back out, fights for the rebound, and a foul is called against Krigler. John Krigler committing the foul, the first one against Kentucky. Well, Krigler had a tough break, and Ed Beck mows out to try to settle him down. So does Vernon Hatton. Krigler made a nice steal from Altenberger of Illinois and went in for a dead crip shot. He came from the left, tried to make his cross in under the basket and flip it back in, and didn't get it high enough on the boards, and it trickled off the rim, and he was fighting Altenberger for the rebound when he committed the foul. So Altenberger of Illinois shoots 1. He misses, and the rebound taken by Schmidt, who lays it in. Harv Schmidt of Illinois lays in his first field goal of the night, and it's Kentucky 12, Illinois 4. Vernon Hatton in front court, high pass to Beck on the free throw line, high pivot, knocked away from him. He jumps and gets it. Moves to the right, drives in, hooks it up and around the rim, no good. Bonsall of Illinois flips it out to Harv Schmidt. He's got a 3-on-1 against Hatton. He shoots and the shot's no good. He's knocked down to the floor. The foul is against Schmidt for charging. Harv Schmidt going in against Hatton is still down on the floor, being helped up by teammates. 14 minutes and 7 seconds in this first half. An official's time is taken. Harry Combs looks out toward the officials, then yells something toward the Kentucky bench to show his displeasure with the play under the basket. Harv Schmidt mopping his face with a towel. 12-4. Kentucky leads Illinois. Well, both teams will get the advantage of a call timeout as Harv Schmidt hurt on the last play, and it is an official's timeout. Well, the picture of the game has been this in scoring. Ed Beck has 6 points. Johnny Cox has 4. Jerry Calvert has 2, as only 3 Wildcats have come into the scoring column. Bill Altenberger and Don Ohl of Illinois are ready to go. Now Kentucky breaks up a huddle that they had with Coach Adolph Rupp at the Wildcat bench. And Harv Schmidt, drying his hands now, apparently is going to remain in the game and be okay. We were talking with Coach Combs tonight. He said to show you how things can be different, Schmidt hit only 1 out of 13 shots against San Francisco, and then came in here last night and was red hot. Vernon Hatton is on the Kentucky free throw line, where he has had 1 try and missed it. Hatton comes from between the knees and hits. He's the 4th Wildcat to score, and he draws the bonus shot. Chance to give Kentucky their second 10-point lead of the game. Here's Hatton with the bonus try. It's good. Kentucky 14, Illinois 4. Roger Taylor of the Illini moving in front court with Calvert on him. Down the left side to Schmidt. In the pivot to Bonsal. Bonsal spins. Here's a foul. It's against Kentucky. Drawing the personal, Johnny Cox fouling Harv Schmidt on his drive under the basket, trying to get open for a pass. It's the first foul on Cox. Harv Schmidt of Illinois will shoot 1. 13 minutes and 58 seconds here in the first half as Schmidt shoots and hits. Bonus shot coming to the 6 forward. We've played 6 minutes, 2 seconds. Bonus shot good. Kentucky 14, Illinois 6. Calvert back in front court for the Cats. Setting it up with Cox going to the left. He passes to him. 1 bounce dribble. Cox moves out, then hands to Hatton on a lob pass in close quarters. Hatton yells to Calvert, feeds back in the pivot, under the basket to Krigler, slap to the outside. Hatton races out and saves, but right into the hands of Roger Taylor of Illinois, who breaks into the free throw line, gives over to Harv Schmidt, in against Beck. The shot's blocked and taken by Cox of Kentucky. Wheels out of there with it, moves up the backcourt, flips to Calvert, crossing the line. Calvert to the top rim of the circle, pulls up, passes to Hatton on the right side, breaks in on Altenberger and loses the ball out of bounds. Don Ohl of Illinois out of bounds to put it in play. Kentucky's had a 10-point lead twice, right now by 8. Up in front court, Don Ohl passes left to Taylor, moves down the left side, coming outside of Schmidt, and then passing back out to him, whips in the pivot to Bonsal, under Beck with a shot that's no good, taps it up no good, and a foul under the Illinois basket. Ed Beck draws the personal, his first of the game, and each team has committed 3 fouls. Bonsal, who's committed 2 of the Illini fouls, is on the line. 2 shots coming. Bonsal ready to try the first one now with 13 minutes, 8 seconds in the first half. It's good. Bonsal has 3 of Illinois' points. Harv Schmidt has the other 4. The Illini have come up with 3 straight points now after being down by 10 for the second time. Bonsal sights, shoots, good. So Illinois is off the pace now by just 6 points, 14-8. Calvert back in front court, setting it up for the Wildcats. Passes left side on the bounce to Cox. Back to Calvert. Hatton goes through. Pass to Krigler, the second man. Down the left side, can't get in. Passes out to Beck at the top of the circle. Over to Hatton, faces Altenberger, breaks in, fakes. Bonsal picks him up and fouls him. Nope, they're giving the foul to Altenberger, his first one. Hatton goes to the Kentucky free throw line for 2 shots. Hatton has hit 2 out of 3. He's ready to try his first one now with 12 minutes, 51 seconds in the first half. He shoots and hits. Kentucky leading 15-8 now. Hatton stands in for his second try. Kentucky went on top 8-0. Shot good. Kentucky has back the 8-point lead, 16-8. Here's Roger Taylor of Illinois back in front court for the Illini. Moving to the left and staying out very deep. Down the left side to Harv Schmidt. He runs out of bounds and going in behind him. A 1-bounce dribble by Schmidt. Bonsal playing high. Over to old Altenberger to Bonsal. To the left at the free throw line. He fakes back and shoots. Short. No good. Schmidt taps up. It rolls out. Slapped out of side by Beck. Krigler saves beautifully to Cox. Takes a quick 1-bounce dribble. Altenberger goes for him. And he gets a high pass to Krigler. Up to Beck to Hatton in front court. Hatton moving down. Now setting it up. Krigler to the left, gets the pass, and it's taken away from him by Don Ohl of Illinois, who outbroke him for it. Coming up on the blind side of him, anticipating the pass, goes to the free throw line, pivots, can't shoot, bounce pass to Bonsal, back to Ohl. He's open, shot good. 10 feet to the left side. Don Ohl gets his first field goal to make it 16-10. Kentucky has not scored a field goal since 16 minutes, 9 seconds remained in the first half. Now 11:50 to go. Calvert breaks in, can't get through, circles and passes to Hatton, breaking to the right. Goes under, lays it in, driving. Vernon Hatton gets his first field goal of the night to put Kentucky on top by 18-10. Another 8-point Wildcat lead. Roger Taylor of Illinois back in front court now. Out deep, fakes to Bonsal, gives over to Ohl, down the left side to Schmidt. Gets open for a 20-footer, good. Harv Schmidt of the Illini with his second field goal, and both teams begin to hit from the outside. Kentucky 18, Illinois 12. Hatton back in front court, Beck out on the high pivot, gets the pass, looks at Krigler on the right side, gives over to Cox, breaking through, lays it in. Illinois tried to triple team Beck out on the free throw line, and Cox broke in behind him. Beck got it to him, and it's 20-12 for the Wildcats. Roger Taylor of Illinois gives to Altenberger, out deep into the right, over to Don Ohl, down the left to Schmidt, and the pivot to Bonsal. He hands off, and here Altenberger charges down the middle and misses. Beck rebounds, flips it out. Cox wasn't expecting it, but saved it nicely. Double teamed and taken away from him by Harv Schmidt of Illinois. Goes up to the free throw line, gives to Taylor. 30-foot enters way short, glances off the rim. Beck's got it again. Hands it over to Krigler this time, who lets everybody clear him and then gives up to Calvert. Calvert a high one to Hatton on the left side of the front court. Gives to Beck, 15-foot jump shot is short, no rebounding strength, and Taylor gets it for Illinois. Timeout. Illinois calling timeout. Their second timeout of the ball game. 10.5 minutes here in this first half of play. It's Kentucky 20, Illinois 12. Here's the scoring so far. Vernon Hatton has picked up 6 points with 4 out of 5 free throws and a field goal. Ed Beck has 6 points with 2 field goals and 2 free throws. And Johnny Cox has 6 points with 3 field goals. Jerry Calvert has the other 2 points. Krigler has not scored. For Illinois, Harv Schmidt, the captain, has 6 points on 2 field goals and 2 free throws. George Bonsal has 4 on pair of free throws and a field goal. And Don Ohl has the other 2 points. Kentucky went on top 8-0 by Beck hitting the first 2 field goals of the game, and then Cox and Calvert coming in for field goals. Bonsal and Cox then exchanged hook shots to make it 10-2. When Schmidt got Illinois' second field goal, it narrowed the score to 12-4. And the next field goal by Don Ohl made it 16-10. Then Hatton hit a crip, and Schmidt hit a 20-foot jump shot to cut the Kentucky lead to 6 points. But Johnny Cox with a drive in, 11 minutes, 12 seconds to play in this half, made it 20-12 for the Wildcats. Now with Illinois in possession at midcourt, the score is 20-12 against them. 10.5 minutes remain here in the first half of the championship game. SMU won the consolation game 67-59 from Dayton. Passes in backcourt to Don Ohl, moves right back across the line, moving over to the right off the screen, cutting back to the left. Passes over to Taylor, who moves to the left, comes outside Schmidt. Hatton picks him up. This is the same move down the side that St. Louis used to beat Kentucky. Bonsal hooks and hits. About 7 or 8 feet to the right of the basket. Bonsal picking up his second field goal to again cut Kentucky's lead to 6 points, 20-14. Wildcats and Illini banging toe-to-toe here on field goals. Beck's hooks and hits. Ed Beck gets his third field goal to become the leading scorer in the game, and Kentucky leads again by 8 points, 22-14. We're into the last 10 minutes of the first half now. Taylor down the left side to Schmidt, in the left corner to Bonsal. Beck plays him very loosely, and here's a whistle at the baseline. Krigler for pushing, his second foul of the game. It's the 4th foul on each team, and Bill Altenberger of Illinois is on the line. He's got one coming with 9 minutes and 48 seconds in the first half. Altenberger, who stands 6'1", shoots and hits. That's his first one in 2 attempts. Now he has the bonus shot coming. Kentucky's lead is cut back to 22-15. Altenberger sights, feet close together, shoots and hits. Kentucky 22, Illinois 16. Calvert to Hatton, in front court to Johnny Brewer, who's in at forward now, replacing Johnny Cox. Back down the right side to Brewer. Out to Jerry Calvert, deep, over to Krigler at the free throw line. Moving to the right, he gives to Calvert. 20-foot set shot, no good. Johnny Brewer rebounding. Bonsal goes for him, and he moves out with it. Hooks back to Beck, and a hook shot, good. Ed Beck with his 4th field goal puts Kentucky on top again by 8 points, 24-16. Johnny Brewer at forward with Krigler now. Here's Beck stealing the ball as it goes toward Bonsal. Hooked over to Krigler to Hatton, the most in front court with it. Straight away, 35 feet. Johnny Brewer on the right side as the pass goes to Calvert, then comes to Brewer. He sets for a 30-footer. Good. Johnny Brewer with his first field goal makes it Kentucky 26, Illinois 16. 9 minutes in the first half. Roger Taylor of Illinois in front court, whips in there to Schmidt. Back to Don Old, breaks by Hatton wide open and lays it in. Don Old put on a burst of speed and went right by Vernon Hatton to get his second field goal. It's 26-18 now for the Wildcats. Down the right side to Brewer, hands off to Hatton, moving through to the right, picks up Harv Schmidt, going to the basket, way out of shooting position, comes back and forces a shot. That picked up by Roger Taylor of Illinois right away. Johnny Brewer in the Kentucky lineup is 6'3", weighs 182, 21-year-old senior from Anchorage who went to Eastern High School. Harv Schmidt feeds Bonsal in the pivot, takes a left-handed hook, it's no good. Slapped beautifully in by Altenberger. First field goal for Altenberger, and Illinois has picked up 2 quick field goals in the Wildcats to cut the Kentucky lead back to 6 points again after it was 10. Here's Calvert on the left side to Krigler, outside to Vernon Hatton. Passes into Beck on the free throw line, high pivot, back to Hatton, 20-footer, good. Vernon Hatton with his second field goal makes it Kentucky 28, Illinois 20. 8 minutes here in the first half. The Illini battling to stay within 6 and 8 points of the Cats. Down the left side, it's to Harv Schmidt. He takes the 20-foot jump shot. No good. High off the rim, Calvert taps it right down beautifully to Krigler, who couldn't get the position on Altenberger. Krigler hands to Calvert now. Hatton calling for it. Calvert didn't give it to him as quickly as Hatton wanted it, and he frowned. Over to Krigler to Hatton, 35-foot one-hander. It's no good. Bounces high off the rim. Johnny Brewer taps, just missing. Bonsal, Beck, Krigler go for it. Krigler, a beautiful save to Brewer on the left side. Whipped into the corner to John Krigler. Back up the left side to Brewer. 30-foot set. Go. Good rolled off. Bonsal of Illinois hooks in the rebound. High pass to Altenberger. Breaks in. Hatton turns him into the right corner. Back out to Old. Left open. He shoots and hits from 20 feet. Don Old gets his third field goal, and Kentucky's lead is back to 6 points. 28-22. Vernon Hatton, bounce pass over to Jerry Calvert, who moves in front court with it. Whip to Beck on the free throw line, high pivot. Beck spins to his right, then outside pass to Johnny Brewer. Back to Beck. Beck hands off to Calvert. Top rim of the circle set shot. No good. Beck gets the rebound, coming to the outside, giving to Brewer on the left. Brewer back out to Jerry Calvert. Calvert backs away to set it up with a 28-22 Kentucky lead. Johnny Brewer, 30-foot set. No good. High off the rim is Krigler, but it's taken away by Harv Schmidt, who's 3 inches taller than the Kentucky forward. Over to Don Old. And now the Illini have a chance to move to within 4. Here it is, hooked over to Altenberger, breaks in on Krigler, who shoots, and it is no good. Dribbled off. Schmidt taps up, and Calvert ties him up as it comes down. No good. Harv Schmidt at 6'6", stands in with 7 inches advantage as Ray Mills comes off the Kentucky bench. 6 minutes, 31 seconds in the first half as Ray Mills becomes Kentucky's second substitute of the night, replacing Krigler. Mills, 6'4", weighs 199, 23-year-old senior from Manchester. Graduated at Clay County, has 11 points, all against Duke. Schmidt taps to Bonsal. It's knocked away, picked up by Altenberger, who lays it in. Altenberger of Illinois with his second field goal makes it 28-24. Kentucky had a lead of 26-16. Since then, they've been outscored 8-2. Now the Illini making their first serious charge at the Cats. Hatton down the left side, fakes a shot, then passes out to Calvert, moves to the right, then backs away. Passes right side to Brewer, back to Hatton. He's got a 30-foot open shot, good. Vernon Hatton, his third field goal. Hatton has been calling for the ball more tonight than we've seen him in the past. 6 minutes in the first half, Kentucky leading 30-24. In the right corner, Don Old with a jump shot, no good. Bounces off to the left, Mills gets the rebound beautifully, drops the ball, and it's picked up by Brewer. Over the back, right back to Brewer on the bounce, up to Jerry Calvert. Just in backcourt, now crossing the dividing line. Whips over to Vernon Hatton, back to Calvert. Fakes to the pivot, then sets, then breaks, and cuts into the free throw line. Back to Hatton, rather. Over to Beck. Hatton goes by. Beck double team, flips it out to Calvert. Down the left to Hatton, in the pivot to Beck. He spins, can't shoot, out to Johnny Brewer. Brewer backs away now with 5.5 minutes here in the first half. Hatton sets, breaks to the right. Fakes to Mills going by, then gives to Calvert, breaking to the right side. He flips to Beck and on the pivot, pulls it up over his head and flips out to Hatton, over to Calvert. Calvert fakes, cuts into the free throw line, flips out to Vernon Hatton. Hatton sets, got a screen. 35-footer short, bounces to the left. Mills taps it out of bounds to Illinois. Kentucky 30, Illinois 24. Roger Taylor moving back up past midcourt for the Illini. Bonsal playing a high pivot. Passes to Harv Schmidt, breaks into the free throw line, double teamed and gets his shot away good. Harv Schmidt of Illinois picking up his third field goal to again cut the Kentucky lead back to 4 points as we go into the last 5 minutes of the first half. Hatton back in front court now. Kentucky leading 30-26. Gives to Beck, spins right, hooks, and it's too high on the boards. Calvert and Mills both tap it out of bounds, and Illinois gets it. Harv Schmidt now bounces into Raj Taylor. Taylor moves up, unopposed, past the 10-second line, deep into the left, passes over to Don Ohl, down the right to Altenberger. Schmidt breaks out as Johnny Cox comes off the Kentucky bench. Altenberger in the right corner to Don Ohl with Hatton on him. Charged right into Vernon Hatton, and the foul. Blocking on Vernon Hatton. It's the first foul of the ball game against Hatton. Johnny Cox comes in at forward for the Wildcats, replacing Johnny Brewer. 4 minutes, 22 seconds to go as Don Ohl of Illinois makes his first appearance at the free throw line. Niagara has defeated Siena tonight, 81-46. Niagara 81, Siena 46. Ohl's free throw is good, and as he draws the bonus shot, he gets a chance to cut the Kentucky lead down to only 2 points. Here it is, good. Kentucky 30, Illinois 28. Here's Jerry Calvert moving back in front court. Over to Vernon Hatton, starts down the middle, cut off by Altenberger, bounces to Cox, 20-foot jump shot, no good. Illinois' Roger Taylor, the little guy at 6 feet, takes the rebound. Up to Don Ohl, who moves down the right side, then cuts, goes by, and walks with it, and it's out of bounds to Kentucky. Jerry Calvert quickly out of bounds. Did not put it in exactly the right spot, and the official makes him come back to do it. Passes her into Vernon Hatton now. Hatton moves slowly up the backcourt. Gives over to Calvert. Down the right side to Johnny Cox. Back out to Hatton. He moves cautiously down to the right side as Harv Schmidt picks him up, dribbles behind his back. Bounce pass to Beck on the pivot. He turns, shoots over Bonsall. Good. Ed Beck gets his 5th field goal and his 12th point of the game to make it 32-28 for the Wildcats with 3 minutes, 40 seconds here in the first half. Seton Hall has beaten Boston College tonight. Seton Hall 88, Boston College 76. Illinois in front court now. Bonsall with a left-handed hook. Misses, rolls off the rim. Stabbed by Schmidt, no good. Rebounded by Calvert. Calvert moving out of there with it. Up into front court with Roger Taylor hawking him. Off the left to Cox. Comes in wide open and missed it. Bonsall rebounds for Illinois. Hooks up in there to Altenberger, who runs right over Ed Beck and lays in the shot. Altenberger gets his 3rd field goal. That brought both benches up screaming over that collision. Kentucky 32, Illinois 30. Vernon Hatton moving up in front court for Kentucky now. The Cats have a 2-point lead over Illinois. They've had leads of 10 points twice. Hatton passes to Beck. Bonsall slaps it right outside to Calvert. Calvert circles, comes back, charges on Taylor, gets wide open and lays it in, driving, good. The goal is good. Foul on Illinois. Let's see who draws it, either Taylor or Schmidt. Bonsall, we believe, is going to draw it. That's the 2nd field goal for Calvert, and it's the 3rd personal foul for George Bonsall. As into the Illinois lineup, John Paul, replacing Roger Taylor. Paul is 6'1", weighs 175. 21-year-old junior from Elgin, Illinois. He scored 20 points. Now the official moves over and takes the personal foul off George Bonsall and is putting it on Roger Taylor. Here's the reason that confusion is called. Illinois has Taylor number 12, Bonsall 22, Schmidt 32. Those 3 numbers all end in 2s, and now they've got a 4th number 2 on the floor. Calvert on the free throw line for 1 shot gets it, and a 3-point trip gives Kentucky a 5-point lead. Back up in front court now, Don Ohl of Illinois. To the right side to Altenberger, whipped to Bonsall in the pivot, spins by, and a foul on Johnny Cox as Schmidt takes the break for the basket. It is the 2nd foul on Johnny Cox. 6 fouls against the Wildcats now, as Captain Harv Schmidt of Illinois is on the free throw line for 1 try. Schmidt has not missed. 2 minutes, 50 seconds here in the first half. He sights, Schmidt shoots, it's good. 35-31, Kentucky's lead. Schmidt in for the bonus shot. The right-hander rocks it back and shoves. Good. Kentucky 35, Illinois 32 as Calvert wheels back into front court. Waves Mills into the pivot, then he backs off, and Beck goes through. Calvert out deep, picked up closely, gives on the right side to Cox, back out to Vernon Hatton. Here's a 30-foot set shot. Good. Vernon Hatton with his 4th field goal makes it Kentucky 37, Illinois 32. Here's Don Paul back in front court for the Illini. Altenberger to Bonsal on a very high pivot at the top of the circle. Back to Old. Jump shot. Bounces over the rim. Calvert knocks it down and takes it for Kentucky. Races out of there with it. Pulls up out deep in front lines. Passes to Hatton on the right side. Weaves going down the side with Altenberger on him and then retreats to set it up. Back playing out on the free throw line. Hatton threatens to him, then passes to Calvert, who had broken and comes back quickly. Off the left to Cox to Hatton. He fakes, breaks. John Paul goes with him. Hatton turns his back to him, backs away, and Paul kicks it out of bounds. Goes over to Illinois as Hatton touched it last. Paul into Ole and back to Paul, and moves up in front court for Illinois as we go into the last 2 minutes of the first half now. Over to Harv-Schmidt, whips into the pivot to Bonsal. Beck loosens up and he hooks and misses. High, Ray Mills gets a beautiful rebound and is pushed around quite a bit, then passes up to Hatton, over to Johnny Cox, breaking in on Harv-Schmidt, hands to Beck, who turns and doesn't shoot. Gives to Calvert, over to Hatton, breaks to the right, takes a 10-footer that's no good. Beck, a beautiful tap, misses. Harv-Schmidt gets it up for Illinois with 1.5 minutes to go. Up to Ole, down the right side to Paul, back to Ole. 20-foot one-hander is no good. Bounces off the rim. Mills way in the air to get the rebound, falls and hands it to Paul, who drops it out of bounds. Goes over to Kentucky. Kentucky 37, Illinois 32. Jerry Calvert passes on the bounce over to Vernon Hatton, who walks up the back court now, past the 10-second stripe. Hatton a bounce pass to Beck on the free throw line. Back out to Jerry Calvert. 35-foot set, good. Jerry Calvert's third field goal. Kentucky leads 39-32 with 1 minute here in the first half. Back is Illinois. Don Ole outside. Bounce pass left side to Harv-Schmidt. Comes back to the right. Cox cuts him off, and he shoots anyway. Good. Harv-Schmidt, a beautiful move for his fourth field goal. And Kentucky's lead is cut back to 5 points. 39-34. Beck warns the two guards, let's take one shot with 40 seconds to go. So Calvert just tom-toms the ball over the dividing line, then moves to the left as Altenberger makes a stab for him. Calvert still out deep, tom-tomming as he moves toward his right. Now Altenberger moves in. Calvert moves left. Hatton moves off the screening post. Calvert just tom-tomming with 20 seconds to go now. Out deep. John Paul is playing him just moderate, not loose, not tight. Off the left to Ray Mills, who breaks for the basket. Don Ole goes for him and holds him. It's the first foul on Ole of Illinois with 12 seconds here in the first half. And Ray Mills will make his first appearance at the Kentucky free throw line for one shot. We got 12 seconds to go here in the first half. Kentucky has a 5-point advantage on Illinois. They broke on top 8-0. The Illini has been unable to catch them. Here's Mills shooting, hitting. Ray Mills is the 6th Wildcat to score. Ray Mills in for the bonus shot. It's no good. Johnny Cox taps it down, and it's out of bounds to Kentucky as it went off the hand of Bonsal. 7 seconds to go as Hatton can't get it. Now he gets it, gives to Beck, who takes one out of the corner. No good. Bounces off to Schmidt of Illinois, and they cannot get a shot away as the first half ends. Kentucky 40, Illinois 34. The Wildcats take a 6-point lead to the dressing room. And I get it as Paul hooks a high pass to Schmidt in the left corner. Comes in on Calvert and walks with it, and it's out of bounds. He hit the shot, by the way, but it's nullified by the walking infraction. Calvert running up the side of the back court, being brought all the way back down to the corner. Now they're blowing it again. The official wants to touch the ball and is forcing Kentucky to let him handle it. That's something that is not in the rule down in this section of the country, as long as it's in back court, but that's a display of authority. Here's Vernon Hatton down the left side to Cox, back to Calvert. Into Beck for a 20-foot jump shot that's off to the left, no good. Hatton taps, no good. Cox rebounds. Triple team fights for it. Can't shoot, and a jump ball is called. 39 seconds have been played with no score in the second half. Johnny Cox out at 6'4". The toss goes, and the tap goes to Ole of Illinois. They break 3-on-2 against Kentucky's guards with Ole shooting good. Don Ole lays in his fourth field goal. It's 40-36 as Kentucky has a 4-point lead. A high pass from Calvert to Beck. Hands off to Hatton for a 25-footer. Good. Vernon Hatton is the leading scorer in the ball game as he gets his 5th field goal. Kentucky 42, Illinois 36 after 1 minute of play. Ole on the left side to Harv-Schmidt of Illinois. 25-foot jump shot pops off the right to John Krigler, who gets it away from Altenberger of Illinois. Up to Calvert, moving in front court down the left side, cuts out to the free throw line, feeds Hatton on the right side, breaks in against Altenberger, who drives him back into the right corner, threatened to go again. Calvert goes through, the pass is up the side to Johnny Cox. Back out to Vernon Hatton as Kentucky sets it up, pass over to Calvert. Calvert weaves, breaks through on Paul, who grabbed him around the waist. The foul on John Paul of Illinois. It's his first foul of the game. Jerry Calvert goes to the Kentucky free throw line for one try. 18 minutes and 34 seconds in the ball game as Calvert sights. Free throw good. Kentucky moves on top, 43-36. Calvert on the line for a bonus shot. Drops it into the floor twice. Now sights, flips, good. Kentucky 44, Illinois 36. Hatton picking up in back court. Altenberger out of forward, comes down to get the high pass in. Then it's over to John Paul, who moves up in front court for the Illini. On the right side to Altenberger, looking for Bonsal in the pivot, gives him a high pass. Bonsal spins out into the 3-second zone, then feeds over to Ole, and a jump shot, no good. Ed Beck gets the rebound, flips a high one up to Calvert, up the way to Cox, way over his head and up into the Kentucky bench. Calvert overleading Cox with the pass, and Illinois attacks again. Back on the left side to Harvard Schmidt. Beck moves out to pick him up and slaps it down. Schmidt fights for it and does get possession, though, and stepped out of bounds with it. It goes over to Kentucky. Fine defensive play by Ed Beck. We've played 2 minutes of the second half. Kentucky has scored 4, Illinois 2, as the Wildcats lead by 8. Jerry Calvert calling number 6 as Hatton takes it in front court, passes to Krigler, and Don Ole of Illinois fouls him, trying to slap it away from him. That's the second foul against Don Ole. Louisville has beaten Notre Dame tonight. Louisville 85, Notre Dame 75, as the Cardinals get back on the winning track. Here's John Krigler at the Kentucky free throw line for one try. He shoots and hits. Krigler is the 7th Wildcat to score. Krigler draws a bonus shot now, a chance to give Kentucky another 10-point lead. He misses. Bonsal of Illinois rebounds, feeds out to Ole, up to Altenberger. Kentucky's got the defense there. Paul breaks in and blocked a shot by Krigler. Calvert picks it up, and Ole fouled him, breaking in to try to get to it. That's the second straight foul on Don Ole of Illinois. Well, we've got a confusing situation here. Associated Press says Tennessee has beaten Marshall. We believe that's Tennessee Tech beating Marshall. Tennessee Tech 81, Marshall 71. Oklahoma A&M over Detroit. Oklahoma A&M 75, Detroit 66. Calvert on the free throw line, shooting, hitting. Calvert up for a bonus shot as Kentucky takes a 10-point lead. Calvert fires, and it's good. Kentucky 47, Illinois 36. Moving back now is Illinois. John Paul in front court on the right side to Altenberger, faces Krigler, then feeds out to Ole, back to Schmidt to Ole, breaking down the left side, shoots over Hatton with a jump shot, good. Don Ole gets his 5th field goal and reduces Kentucky's longest lead to 9 points. Hatton gives a high pass to Beck out at the top of the line, then back over to Hatton, who weaves down the right side, passes out deep now to Calvert. Calvert cuts abruptly back to the left, gives to Cox. He's open, 20-footer, no good, over the rim, taken off by Don Ole of Illinois. The Illini running with it now, high pass to Harv Schmidt, out deep with it, cutting to the top rim of the circle, passes to Bonsal in the pivot, spins back into the 3-second zone, hooks and hits. Bonsal of Illinois gets his 3rd field goal of the game. Kentucky 47, Illinois 40. Kentucky had an 11-point lead. Illinois has picked up 2 quick field goals now to cut it down to 7. Vernon Hatton up in front court calling his play. Illinois tightening up the aggressive man-to-man defense. Hatton gives a high pass to Beck on the pivot, breaks by, back to Hatton. He lays it in, driving beautifully. It's good, and a foul on Illinois. Altenberger drawing his 2nd personal. For Vernon Hatton, it's his 6th field goal. That's more than anybody else. And Hatton on the free throw line for 1 shot. He's hit 4 out of 5. Hit or miss, that's all he's got. Coming. 16 minutes, 39 seconds in the ball game as Hatton's free throw is good. Kentucky leads 50-40. Illinois attacking. Don Ole passes into Harv Schmidt, breaking down the middle against Johnny Cox, hooking. It rolls off the rim. Vernon Hatton scoops it up. Kentucky's got a 3-2 fast break. Hatton fakes to Calvert. Jump shot, no good off the free throw line. Krigler rebounds. Fights out to get it, and he's fouled from the rear. Looks like John Paul of Illinois drawing the personal foul. That's right, his second one. Clock stopped. 16 minutes, 23 seconds to go. Krigler on the Kentucky line has hit one and missed one. Krigler sights, shoots, hits. Kentucky back in front by 11 points. If Krigler should hit again, it will be Kentucky's longest lead of the game. He shoots, it's good. Kentucky has the longest lead of the game, 52-40. 12-point advantage as John Paul moves back for the Illini. Whips one and Calvert cuts off. And Paul jumped up on his back. Calvert held on. No, gave to back. Right back to Calvert, up to Hatton in front court. Fakes, breaks on Altenberger, goes under the basket, can't shoot, then forces a shot that's no good. Bonsal gets it for Illinois. Hooks up the way to Don Old, moving in against Ed Beck on a 3-2 fast break. Double dribble with it as he let it get away from him. Vernon Hatton out of bounds. Puts it in play right on the spot where it went out of bounds. To the approval of the official, to Calvert, back to Hatton. Lamo's up in front court now. Kentucky leading 52-40 with Hatton out deep. Passes to Calvert. Paul tried to steal. Calvert saved. Gave over to Hatton. Drives in. Two men go for him. Whips out to Calvert. 20-footer. Short off the rim. Craig taps. No good. Krigler rebounds. Knocked away into the braces and a jump ball. St. Louis has beaten Baylor tonight. St. Louis 101. Baylor 78. Krigler jumping against Old. Both boys 6'3". Tap goes to Illinois. Harv Schmidt gets it, taps it to Altenberger, and right back to Schmidt in front court out deep with it. Off the left side. Pass goes to Old, back to Schmidt in the pivot to Bonsal. He spins right, left-handed hook. No good. Beck fouled him, though, and it's the second foul on Ed Beck. Two shots coming to George Bonsal of Illinois. Bonsal, fouled once by Beck in the first half, had two free throws and hit them both. So he hasn't missed. He's up there for his first one now as Kentucky leads by 12 points. Bonsal shoots and he misses. 15 minutes and 23 seconds in this ball game for the championship of the Invitational Tournament. Illinois undefeated. Kentucky has 2 losses against 5 wins. Bonsal shoots and hits. Score now is 52-41. Kentucky with an 11-point lead as Calvert back in front court. Passes to Cox, back to Calvert. Beck just now getting it on the pivot. Calvert fakes to him, breaks down the left side, turns and comes back outside with it. Dribbled it off his knee, quickly scoops it up, passes to Beck, breaks by, gets it, goes all the way and lays it in. Jerry Calvert snaps off his 4th field goal. Kentucky leads by the longest margin now, 13, 54-41. Off the Illinois bench is Roger Taylor as John Paul dribbles back in Illinois front court, gets a screen from Bonsal, breaks right, hands to Bonsal. Calvert blocked him, Bonsal walked with it, and it's out of bounds to Kentucky. Vernon Hatton out of bounds, ready to go with it, but they stopped the clock to let an Illinois substitution come into the game. Roger Taylor replacing John Paul with 14 minutes, 51 seconds to play. Vernon Hatton has the ball, bounce pass into Jerry Calvert and back to Hatton. One of those very irregular situations where the other team has the ball and the clock is moving to get a substitute in. Beck gets a high pass out to Krigler over to Calvert. Sets, breaks right, then backs away. Comes to the top of the circle, goes left, takes a 20-foot jumper, in and out. Tap by Beck, it's good. Beautiful tap by Ed Beck for his 6th field goal. Equaling his 14 points against SMU as the Cats take a 15-point lead. Altenberger of Illinois misses from the right side. Bonsal taps and Cox rebounds for Kentucky. Moves out, holds on. Hands to Calvert, who is hit from the rear by Taylor but holds on. Moves up unopposed now with a 56-41 lead for the Wildcats. Down the right to Johnny Cox, who weaves, looks into the pivot, then fires out deep to Vernon Hatton. Back on the bounce to Cox, back to Hatton, breaking down, goes for the basket. Bonsal cut him off, bounces over to Beck, fakes a shot, then gives to Cox at the free throw line. Cuts and has it taken away from him, but Don Old. 3-on-1, and Calvert takes it away from him. Back up, it's 4-on-2. Calvert pivots, gives to Hatton to the left for a 5-footer. That's good. Vernon Hatton with his 7th field goal. Timeout, Illinois. Listen to this roar. Well, the Wildcats have jumped out on top by 17 points. 58-41. Ray Mills checks in to replace Johnny Cox at forward. 13 minutes, 48 seconds to play. Here are those late scores we promised you. St. Louis, 101. Baylor, 78. And Bradley has defeated California Poly tonight. Bradley 82, California Poly 63. Utah defeats St. John's of Brooklyn tonight. Utah 79, St. John's of Brooklyn 71. Well, this timeout is number 3 in the ball game. It's charged to Illinois. Kentucky has not taken a time yet. Kentucky had a lead of 11 points, 52-41. Now they have hit for 3 straight field goals. Alabama has been beaten again tonight. Canisius beats Alabama by 11 points. Canisius 74, Alabama 63. That game was played in Buffalo. Now back to play with Ray Mills, Krigler taking the forwards as Johnny Cox is out. Back in the pivot, Hatton and Calvert at the guards as Illinois attacks. Up in front court, Altenberger down the left side to Schmidt. Back to Altenberger, jump shot out of the left corner, bounces off short, moving out to get it is Hatton on the bounce. Watches Ray Mills go down on the fast break with Taylor trailing him, and Hatton doesn't risk the dangerous pass. Moves into the left, goes on Altenberger, spins around, juggles the ball, and across the arms foul on Altenberger of Illinois. Number 3 on Altenberger, sending Vernon Hatton to the Kentucky free throw line. Hatton has hit 5 out of 6. Vernon Hatton is shooting for his 20th point of the game. 13 minutes, 29 seconds to play. Hatton sights from between the knees. He shoots too hard. Back taps just short. Taps again, and it's good. Mills also in on the play. Ray Mills are back. Let's see. Ray Mills is going to get credit for his first field goal. 60-41 Kentucky. Out of the left corner, Taylor misses. Bonsal slaps up on the board, and Krigler takes for Kentucky. Passes over to Beck, right back to Krigler, up to Calvert. Beck down there directing operations then. Telling Krigler where to pass, to watch out behind you. This Beck grew up last night against the first top flight center he played against. Here's Mills, fouled immediately by Illinois' Hyle Stout, who's in the ball game here. S-T-O-U-T, Hyle Stout, 21-year-old senior from Peoria, one of the quarterbacks of the Illini. 6'4", weighs 205, has 20 points, 15 of them against Dayton last night. Sends Ray Mills to the free throw line for 1 shot. Ray's had 2 chances and hit 1 and missed 1. We got 13 minutes to go. Kentucky with a 19-point lead. Mills makes it 20. Bonus shot. 61-41. Kentucky over Illinois. Mills sights, and here she comes. It's good. Kentucky 62, Illinois 41. 21-point lead for Kentucky. Altenberger rolls away from Hatton in backcourt, who races him in to get defensive position. High pass to Bonsal on the free throw line, high pivot. Back in against him, yelling. Pass over to Hyle Stout at the free throw line. A one-bounce dribble back to Taylor. 20-foot one-hander. It's in there. And Roger Taylor gets his first field goal of the ball game. Kentucky 62, Illinois 43. Here's Hatton caught in backcourt, whips to Beck, who comes out deep to help him. Back to Hatton, angles right, goes into the free throw line, pivots and gives to Beck, right back to Hatton, out to Calvert. Calvert calling Krigler out and waving him back with 12.5 minutes to go. He fakes, cuts, goes down the middle, and is hacked across the arms and knocked to the floor. Illinois' Roger Taylor drawing his second foul. This, incidentally, ladies and gentlemen, is the last game for one of the nation's great officials. Bowing out tonight is Mr. Ronnie Gibbs. We've got an interview with him, and boy, he's quite a fabulous guy. Calvert on the free throw line is shooting 2. Here's the first one, no good. That's the first one Calvert's missed in 6 tries. 12 minutes, 22 seconds to go. Kentucky 62, Illinois 43. Calvert up for his second shot. It's good. And Kentucky takes a 20-point advantage. Here's Taylor passing into Altenberger. And the Illini swing back to the attack. Kentucky has stretched a 6-point lead out to 20, as it was at halftime. Bonsal with a hook, misses. Mills knocks it down. Stout goes for it, and Beck fouls him from the rear. It's personal foul number 3 on Ed Beck. Only the 8th foul called against Kentucky tonight. Hiles Stout. The first name is Hiles, H-I-L-E-S, on the line for 1. 12 minutes and 9 seconds in this championship ball game. Stout is up there. Stands relaxed, flips it up short, rolls over and in. Very soft free throw by Stout that died on the front of the rim. Illinois wears the orange and white sweat socks to match the orange and white uniform, predominantly white. Stout drops in the bonus shot, cutting the Kentucky lead to 18 points. Hatton moving back in front court now. Out deep, he's picked up as Illinois gets very aggressive out in the front line defense. Hatton gives over to Calvert in close quarters as we got 12 minutes to go. Calvert rotates the pivot, breaks in on Altenberger, 5-footer, good. Jerry Calvert's fifth field goal makes it Kentucky 65, Illinois 45. The Illini swinging back to the attack. Altenberger bounces to Stout on the right side, breaks away. Mills corners him at the baseline, and he walks with it. Hatton fades quickly to Calvert. Krigler breaking, gets a high pass, beautifully lays it in, driving. John Krigler whips in field goal number 1 on a great pass from Calvert. 11 and a half minutes to go as the Cats open up a 22-point lead. Back in front court, Marv Schmidt of Illinois pumps from 20 feet and hits. Schmidt getting his fifth field goal of the game. That's his first point in this half after a 12-point first half. Calvert and Hatton working it up the backcourt with the Illinois defense laying in wait at mid-stripe. Over to Mills, back to Hatton, breaking to the baseline, coming in under the basket. Here's a whistle at the baseline. Foul on Illinois' Marv Schmidt, the captain, his second one. 11 minutes, 10 seconds to go as Vernon Hatton steps to the Kentucky free throw line. Hatton has hit 5 out of 7. He's trying 1, and here's the shot. It's good. Bonus shot to Hatton, who's now over 20 with these points. 68-47 for the Wildcats, who've had one 22-point lead. Hatton's bonus shot is up, and it's 22 points again. 69-47 as the Illini swings back into offensive land. Rog Taylor, 6-foot guard, moving in against Calvert down to the right. Mills picks up. He fires from 10 feet and hits. Rog Taylor gets his second field goal, both in this half. Here's a high pass to Mills on the left side for Kentucky. Double team, protects, and flips out to Calvert on the left side as we're into the last 11 minutes of the ball game. 69-49 in favor of Kentucky. Calvert a bounce pass to Beck, breaks off, then stays out deep with it. Hasn't used that dribble. Now he does to back up and fire to Hatton. Hatton gives to Beck on the left side of the pivot. Back out to Calvert, breaks to the right, cuts back to the left. 15-foot jumper, no good, comes off. Beck knocks it down. Illinois got it 2-on-1 against Hatton. Calvert racing in to help, and Hatton turns Stout away, Altenberger away, and he hits a fall-away shot for his fourth field goal of the game and first in this half. Now Kentucky's lead is whacked back to 18 points. 69-51. Hatton in front court out deep, angling to the right. Gives in to Krigler, back to Vernon Hatton. Calvert gets it out deep again. Fires over to Mills, who wasn't expecting it, dropped it, picked it up. Jump shot no good. Von Sal gets it for Illinois, out to Taylor, taken away by Calvert. Calvert doesn't go through with a fast break, backs up to set it up. We got 10 minutes to go. Kentucky had 6-point lead at halftime. They've made it 18 points halfway through the second half. Hatton goes down the right side. Marv Schmidt moves out to pick him up. He dribbles between his legs and comes back outside, gives to Calvert. Well, Kentucky wants to rest with it a little bit now. Calvert just laying over in a crouch, looking at Taylor, who gives him plenty of room to operate. Hatton moved in behind him. Taylor reached back with the antenna and felt him. Here's Beck passing back out to Calvert. Calvert in a crouch, Kentucky slowing it down. Calvert down the middle, has it knocked off his knees, saves. Beck gets away from him. Over to Altenberger of Illinois, breaks in front court down the right side with Mills on him. He fires over him. It's no good. Hatton rebounds, and Marv Schmidt fouls him immediately. Third foul on the Illinois captain. Now, as we move the length of the floor for the free throw, let's take 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Standard Oil Sports Network.
WVLK, Lexington, Kentucky, broadcasting the Cotton Bowl and Rose Bowl games on New Year's Day.
Once again, this is Claude Sullivan from the Coliseum in Lexington, where Hatton at the free throw line shoots and he misses. Beck taps and misses. Schmidt rebounds for Illinois, and a foul immediately against Ed Beck, his fourth one of the ball game. Beck, a little disgusted at himself for committing that fourth foul, is going to bring Johnny Cox into the game with 9 minutes and 23 seconds to go. Kentucky holds an 18-point lead. So Coach Adolph Rupp apparently feels that it's too much to risk his center. Listen to this hand for Beck. A lot of fans on their feet cheering for Beck as he comes out. He's got 14 points and a lot of rebounds. Harv Schmidt on the Illinois free throw line has not missed tonight. He shoots, hits, his fifth straight one. Kentucky's lead is 17 points as Schmidt stands in for the bonus shot. It is good. Kentucky 69, Illinois 53. Hatton moving back in front court for the Wildcats, out deep with it now. Fakes down and then does give to Johnny Cox. Right back to Hatton, breaking through to the left. Stout picks up. He gives out to Jerry Calvert. Calvert hands to Krigler. Back out to Calvert. Balancing court again. Ray Mills is in on the pivot, incidentally. Here's Calvert out deep with it. Fakes, cuts down to the left. Goes to the baseline. Leaves Taylor and drops it in. That's 3 field goals in each half for Calvert. Kentucky 71-53 over Illinois. Stout gets loose. Takes a jump shot that's no good from 10 feet. Schmidt rebounds and lays it in. Marv Schmidt of Illinois with his 6th field goal to cut the Kentucky lead to 71-55. Jerry Calvert moving up the backcourt. Crosses the midcourt stripe. Angles to the right. Passes to Krigler. Moves out on a one-bounce dribble. Gives to Hatton. Cuts to the right. Cuts to the left. Gets by Schmidt. Bonsal cuts him off. Slapping for the ball but can't get to it. Bounce pass out to Calvert. Hands to Hatton. Moving out deep as we got 8.5 minutes to go. Hatton passes over to Calvert. Kentucky with a 16-point lead. Calvert down the middle, floats a 5-footer up that's short. Bonsal drops it, picked up by Hal Stout, and it's 4-on-1 against Vernon Hatton. Here's Altenberger shooting and missed it. Tapped up, no good by Stout. Here's a foul on John Krigler of Kentucky. It's the 3rd foul on Krigler. Timeout, Kentucky. That is the first timeout in the ball game for the Wildcats. With 8 minutes and 14 seconds to go, Coach Adolph Rupp, losing that 22-point lead, has now decided to call timeout, apparently, and talk it over with the Wildcats to make sure they do not let it melt away too much. Well, here's what's happened so far in scoring. Jerry Calvert has hit 6 field goals and 6 free throws. Johnny Cox has 3 field goals. Ed Beck, 6 field goals and a pair of free throws. John Krigler, a field goal and 3 free throws. Vernon Hatton has 7 field goals, and at the free throw line, 7. Ray Mills, 3 free throws and a field goal, and John Brewer, 1 field goal. That's in the first half. That means Jerry Calvert has 18 points, and Vernon Hatton has 21. Ed Beck has 14. Those are the top scorers for the Wildcats. Now we're ready to go back to play. 8 minutes, 14 seconds in the ball game. Kentucky 71, Illinois 55. Hiles Stout moves up to the Illinois free throw line. Stout's got 2 tries coming. Stout has not missed on that charity stripe here in the second half. He's playing as a reserve, 6'4", 205-pound quarterback from the football team. Shoots this one short and no good. Stout in for his second try. It's good. Kentucky 71, Illinois 56. Cox passes quickly to Hatton, up to Calvert, moving in front court. Calvert looks for somebody open, finds Mills, and the pivot hits him. Outside to Hatton, cuts, goes down the middle. Hatton flips it up. It is good. Man, what a shot. That's 8 field goals for Hatton, 23 points. As we go into the last 8 minutes, Kentucky leads 73-56. Here's Taylor feeding Schmidt on the left side for Illinois. Passed over to Stout, moves out to the free throw line. Whips in there to Schmidt. Turns, shoots over Krigler, and it's no good. Beautiful rebound by Ray Mills, who went way up into the air to hook that one away from Bonsal, who incidentally is 4 inches taller than Mills. Here's Calvert in front court over to Hatton. Down the right side to Cox in the bounce. Back out to Hatton. Calvert goes through, pass to Krigler. Top of the circle, one-hand jump shot. No good, missed everything. Went out of bounds into the Kentucky bench. Stout of Illinois passes into Altenberger. We got 7.5 minutes to play. With Altenberger back in front court, moving down the left side. Krigler picks up, knocks down the ball, and gets it away from Altenberger. Flips it over to Vernon Hatton. Hatton high, pass into front court to Johnny Cox on the left side. He's open, and here she goes. Good. 4 field goals for Johnny Cox. Kentucky 75-56. And with 7 minutes to go, they hold a 19-point lead. Here's Taylor having it taken away from him by Jerry Calvert. 2 straight interceptions by Kentucky. Up to Ray Mills, goes in all the way and misses. Tapped in by Krigler or Cox. Let's see who it was. Cox or Krigler? Johnny Cox tapping it in, his 5th field goal. 77-56. Cats out now by 21 as Bonsal shoots and misses for Illinois. Hatton knocks it down. Mills has got it. Cats running again. Mills pulls up out deep, gives over to Vernon Hatton, breaks to the right on Taylor, who tied him up beautifully with a fine block. A very, very fine defensive move. As Vernon Hatton went wheeling in there, here's Johnny Brewer coming off the Kentucky bench. Altenberger is coming out of the Illinois lineup. Timeout, Illinois. It's their 4th of the ball game. And into the Illini lineup, Larry Breyfogle, 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 from Lawrenceville, Illinois. He's a 20-year-old junior. Breyfogle has scored only 2 points this season. He stands 6'3", weighs 165, has a .7 scoring average. We've got 6 minutes, 34 seconds to go. It's Kentucky 77, Illinois 56. Now, Kentucky lost Tuesday night in Durham, North Carolina, to the Blue Devils of Duke. But since then, Kentucky came back to beat Southern Methodist, ranked number 5 in the coaches' poll, and at this moment they lead the team that the coaches rate the third best in the nation. Kentucky's leading them by 21 points. Vernon Hatton moves out to the free throw line to jump. He's 6'3". Vernon Hatton is pointing out to the referee that he's jumping against a substitute who just came into the game. Altenberger was lifted. That's the man who blocked Hatton's shot. George Bonsall of Illinois moves out and says that is not right. The man was on the bench when Altenberger blocked the shot. And the Illinois players are trying to keep Altenberger from coming back into the ball game, but he's going to have to come back in. Now Taylor's going to move in. Taylor is 6 feet. That gives Hatton 3 inches height advantage on the jump. Illinois is trying to get Breyfogle, who is 6'3", in there. Here's Hatton. Can't tap it the first time. Knocked down, fumbled around, and it's Calvert picking it up. Gives it over to Hatton. 30-foot one-hander. It's good. Vernon Hatton gets his 9th field goal. Kentucky leads 79-56. That's their first 23-point lead. Now here's Taylor in the left corner. Calvert goes to him. Foul. Jerry Calvert, his first one of the ball game. You know, something that maybe you haven't noticed, but both games that Kentucky has lost, Jerry Calvert has fouled out. Taylor of Illinois hits and draws the bonus free throw. This, by the way, is the first time he's been on the charity line tonight. Another 6 minutes, 15 seconds to play. Taylor shoots. He misses the bonus shot. Cox rebounds against Bonsall, 4 inches taller. Gives it over to Jerry Calvert. Of course, Cox had the inside rebounding position. Up to Hatton in front court. Down the left side to Johnny Brewer. 1 bounce, 2 bounce dribble. Looks for somebody open. Cross-court pass goes to Calvert to Hatton to Brewer again. Calvert goes through. Hatton watches, gives to Cox at the top of the circle. He picks up Schmidt going to the right now. Has the ball taken away from him. Beautiful play by Roger Taylor again. Whips up, and here on the right side, Breyfogle doesn't go in against Hatton. Outside to Schmidt. Whips into Bonsall, breaks by. Bonsall charges into Ray Mills and goes to the floor. Ray Mills is called for tripping him with the knee. First foul on Mills. And Bonsall is being helped up off the floor. That does not indicate he's injured. Bonsall has been a little tired. He and Beck have had quite a lively affair in that pivot tonight. Beck is out of there right now. When he went out, he led by 14-8 in points scored against Bonsall, a rated All-American, and Beck not considered for the Southeastern Conference starting this season. Bonsall gets both free throws to narrow the Kentucky lead back to 20 points. Hatton loses the ball, come in front court, but recovers. Gives to Calvert down the right side to Brewer. Over to Hatton with 5.5 minutes to go. He drives under the basket, takes Marv Schmidt with him, then feeds to Mills. 20-foot jump shot, good. Ray Mills with his second field goal makes it Kentucky 81, Illinois 59. Taylor back in front court for the Illini. Peels off a 20-foot jump shot that's no good. Mills taps it down into the outside, but Taylor's got it for Illinois. Brewer blocks his shot, and it's knocked up into the air by Johnny Brewer again. Beautiful save to Calvert. Got Johnny Cox wide open, and they passes to him in time. He lays it in. 6 field goals for Johnny Cox. Kentucky leading 83-59. Now the Cats have a 24-point lead. Biggest lead of the game. Heil Stout of Illinois shoots and misses. Coming off his Hatton with a rebound on the bounce as Breyfogle hit the floor pretty hard under the Illinois basket. Here's a pass on the left side to Cox. Outside to Calvert. Down to Cox. Back to Calvert. Over to Hatton. Down the right side to Johnny Brewer. Back to Hatton. Calvert goes through. Hatton feeds out to Cox. Here's a 25-foot jump shot. Good. 7 field goals. Johnny Cox. Kentucky 85, Illinois 59. Back in front court to the left side, Rog Taylor of Illinois. Here's one-hander good by Bonsal, and a foul on Ray Mills of Kentucky, his second foul. Goal by Bonsal is only his fourth field goal tonight against Kentucky. Here's Ed Beck coming back in for Kentucky. Beck checks in. Coming out, Johnny Cox. Into the Illinois lineup is Tom Haller, Haller, replacing Marv Schmidt, who gets a great hand. 19-year-old sophomore from Lockport, Illinois. Haller is 6'3", weighs 188. Has 4 points this season, a 1.3 average. Ted Kayaza is waiting at the bench to replace Bonsal, who's on the free throw line for one try. Shoots and misses. Ray Mills rebounds and is tied up immediately. Bonsal immediately grabbed by Beck and patted on the back, and Bonsal's coming out of the game. Ted Kayaza replacing him. Caiazza. Kayaza. Hatton comes out, and Cassidy's in for Kentucky. Kayaza, 6'7", weighs 235, 21-year-old junior from LaGrange, Illinois, scored 6 points this season. Got one last night against Dayton. Now here's Illinois' Tom Haller jumping with Mills. Mills taps to Calvin and moves up in front court. Cassidy of Kentucky, 6'2", weighs 191, 20-year-old junior from Inez. 11 points for a 2.8 average. Here's Calvert out deep, cuts to the free throw line, circles and comes back out. Cassidy had 5 points against Miami for his best scoring night. Whips to Beck on the pivot. Then the pass is out to Calvert. Fights to get a hold of it and hangs on. Flips out to Cassidy. Into the last 4 minutes. Kentucky on top, 85-61. Biggest lead was 24 points. Over to Beck to Johnny Brewer. Mills goes to the pivot and yells for it, but Brewer backs away on the dribble from Heil Stout. Bounce pass to Beck. Knocked down by Illinois' reserve center, Kayaza, and picked up by Stout, who moves just in front court. Earl Atkins comes off with the sweat jacket and gets ready to check in for the Wildcats. Outside jump shot by Illinois' Bryfogle, no good. Here's a pushing foul. Ed Beck, we believe, let's see, that's it. Beck's out. That's his 5th personal foul. Fouling out, 3 minutes, 33 seconds to go. You know, Adolph Rupp told Ed Beck day before yesterday that he was going to meet his first good center. As Adolph put it, the first good big man you've seen this year. Now, I want to remind you that Bill Spivey met Clyde Lovellette as his first good big man, and he soundly whipped Lovellette. Now, son, here's your chance to grow up. Well, Beck has had his 2 best nights of his career. He has scored 28 points against Bonsal and Krebs, both All-Americans, and that's just 9 points less than he scored all last season. Kayaza of Illinois hits. Draws the bonus shot. That's right. Beck has scored 28 points these last 2 nights. Scored only 37 all last season. Bonus shot by Kayaza, no good. Dick Howe in the Kentucky lineup gets it, fires it over to Earl Atkins, tries one into front court, knocked out of bounds by Illinois' Tom Haller. Earl Atkins, 23-year-old junior from Ashland, 6'4", weighs 180. Illinois boy Dick Howe playing the pivot for Kentucky. Howe's from Carbondale, gets it into the pivot, hooks it outside to Brewer. Kentucky 85, Illinois 62, with 3 minutes, 10 seconds to go. Atkins out deep. Illinois getting plenty aggressive defensively. Howe has it knocked away by Kayaza. Picked up, and Haller dribbles it out of bounds. Well, the reserves are just not passing it. They try to stand around and pivot themselves into the clear here, and Illinois' aggressive defense is kind of eating it up. Here's Atkins outside, passing over to Brewer. Kentucky not taking the shots right now. Here's Illinois taking it away from him again. It's Paul who goes in wide open and lays it in. John Paul gets his first field goal of the game. 85-64. Cassidy moves up in front court now down the right side. He doesn't attempt to shoot. Out to Johnny Brewer. Maybe the no-shot sign is hanging out here and we don't realize it. Over to Cassidy, who's immediately fouled by John Paul, committing number 3. 2 minutes, 28 seconds to play. Cassidy on the Kentucky free throw line for one try. Kentucky opened a 24-point lead before reserves started pouring into the game. It's been cut back to 21 right now. Cassidy, a southpaw, drops it in. Incidentally, the basket on the net on the Kentucky basket has got a pretty heavy sag to it in the front. Those ropes have taken a beating tonight. Cassidy drops in the bonus shot, and Kentucky leads 87-64. Illinois, John Paul gets the incoming pass. Moves up in front court with it. Breaks down the right side. Mills goes out and misses him, and he goes right on in to lay it in. Second field goal for John Paul to make it 87-66. Cassidy comes back in front court, feeds Dick Howe on the pivot, back out to Cassidy. Down the left to Atkins, in the corner to Brewer. Brewer weaves, backs away, calls for somebody, bounce pass to Howe, he breaks by, Howe spins right, a foul against Illinois. Kayaza drawing his first one of the ball game. 2 minutes to play as Dick Howe of Kentucky goes to the free throw line. Howe has scored 10 points this season, all of them against Miami, although he's played in 2 other games. Howe. He shoots and misses. Haller rebounds for Illinois, up to Stout to Paul in front court. Down the left side for a 20-foot jump shot that's good. Paul sacks up his third field goal, all of them this half. It's 87-68 for Kentucky. Cassidy gives a pass to Howe in the pivot. Outside to Earl Atkins, 1 minute, 40 seconds to go. Pass back to Howe to Cassidy. Here's a 30-foot set shot, way short, missed everything. Picked up by Illinois' Breifogel under the basket. Whipped up to Paul, moving in front court. Minute and a half to go. Kentucky leading 87-68. Here's Kayaza spinning into the free throw line, giving to Haller. Breaks down the right side, collides with Brewer. 70. Johnny Brewer committing his first foul of the game. Stops the clock with 1 minute and 23 seconds to go. Illinois' Tom Haller on the free throw line for one try. He shoots and misses. Tapped up by Stout twice and no good. Now Mills knocks it down. Stout goes forward and gets it, fires it in, and Atkins cuts it off for Kentucky. He has to fight to hold on and whips one to Johnny Brewer, right under the basket to Mills, who tried to go for the basket, and he's fouled by Haller of Illinois. Nope, correction, jump ball with 1 minute and 11 seconds to go. Mills, 6'4", jumping against Haller at 6'4", tapped to Johnny Brewer. Brewer moves to the right, backs away into the corner, hooks an outside pass to Cassidy. Cassidy in the pivot to Howe, breaks off, back to Cassidy. 15-footer, it's no good. Knocked down by Mills, up into the air and back into the Illinois bench to Kentucky, opposite Kayaza of the Illini. Inside the last minute of play now. Out of bounds, Dick Howe calls his play, looks for somebody open. A bounce pass through the middle to Brewer. 15-footer is no good. Johnny Brewer using the backboard for his second field goal, makes it Kentucky 89, Illinois 68. Back in front court, Breifogel. Moves in, feeds Kayaza in the pivot. He fights his way but can't get clear. He's fouled by Earl Atkins. First foul on Atkins. Stops the clock with 39 seconds to play. Ted Kayaza has been up there for 2 of them and missed one and hit one. Kayaza wears a very heavy knee brace on the right knee. Shoots and hits. Draws the bonus shot. Kentucky leading 89-69. Kayaza's bonus shot, good. 89-70. Earl Atkins moving up the backcourt unopposed now by Illinois. 35 seconds to go. Gives to Cassidy. Moves into front court with it. Passes over to Earl Atkins. Backs away to the right. Goes down the middle. Dribbling. And his foul. Breifogel of Illinois drawing his first foul of the game. Clock stops with 27 seconds to go. Here's Earl Atkins on the Kentucky free throw line with a chance to put the Wildcats over the 90 mark. Kentucky's been over it twice this season. Atkins hits. Draws the bonus shot. Kentucky had 94 against Washington and Lee, 114 against Miami. They have not been in the 90s since then. Here's the bonus shot good, and it's 91-70 in favor of Kentucky. Illinois put it in with a foot on the baseline, and it goes over to Kentucky. 26 seconds to go. 1 second rolled off the clock. Out of bounds is Dick Howe of Kentucky. High pass into Johnny Brewer. Brewer out deep straight away with it. Whips into Howe on the pivot. Faces Kayaza and then gives out deep to Atkins. Down the left to Mills. Mills is fouled but holds on. Breaks for the ball, and the ball knocked him, taken away from him by Stout of Illinois. Atkins tries to get it, can't. Knocked off on the side. Picked up there, tapped by Kayaza by Stout. It's no good. Everybody fighting to get forward as the ball game ends. Kentucky winner 91-70 over Illinois. And what a contest this is. Kentucky beating Illinois by 21 points. We'll have individual scoring and the awarding of the trophies in just a moment. Today's new cars set a fast pace in beauty and horsepower. Matching the pace they set are the new Atlas Plycron Cushion Air tires, now at your standard oil dealers. Plycon Cushion Airs present brand new beauty in white sidewalls that start white and stay white with minimum care. Designed for the times, Atlas Plycron Cushion Airs emphasize the long, low, sleek look. Atlas Plycron cushionaires add new safety, too. As horsepower goes up, so does the need for a better grip on the road and safe, sure stops. Plycron cushionaires feature a brand new tread design studded with non-skid edges that hold the road like nothing before. Yet, with all their safety and beauty, Atlas Plycron cushionaires are lighter and easier to steer than anything you've seen to date. See these new Atlas Plycron cushionaires at your Standard Oil dealers today. Ken Kuhn has just pushed the note to us here that the 91 points Kentucky has scored against Illinois betters the record that Minnesota scored against Utah here last year. Last year, Minnesota scored 90. The Cats tonight beat Illinois with 91 points to 70 for Illinois. Well, Ed Beck fouled out of the ball game with 14 points. Jerry Calvert tonight played one of his usual fine games. He ended up with a total of 18 points. Beck had 14 points to equal his best previous night of the year. Johnny Cox had 14 points also without a free throw attempt. 7 field goals for Cox. Dick Howe was in the ball game but didn't score, missed a free throw try. Earl Atkins got 2 points on a pair of free throws. John Krigler picked up 5 points on a field goal and 3 out of 4 at the free throw line. Vernon Hatton had the night tonight. He had 9 field goals. Total of 25 points. Hatton led the scores tonight with 25. Bill Cassidy, 2 points and a pair of free throws. Ray Mills, 7 points, 2 field goals, 3 out of 4 free throws. Johnny Brewer, 4 points on 2 field goals, and that's it for the Cats. For Illinois, Hyle Stout had 3 free throws as he got 3 points. Roger Taylor of Illinois had 5 points on 2 field goals and a free throw. Bill Altenberger had 10 points on 4 field goals and 2 free throws. George Bonsall had 4 field goals and 13 points as Ed Beck beat Bonsall by 1 point. Ted Chiazza had 3 points at the free throw line. Harv Schmidt, who got 29 last night against Dayton, ends up with 18 points, 6 field goals, 6 free throws. Larry Breifogel was in the ball game but didn't score. Tom Haller in the game didn't score, missed a free throw. John Paul had 6 points on 3 field goals. Don Ohl had 12 points, 5 field goals, and 2 free throws. And Harry Combs, the coach of Illinois, right now is at the center of the floor. He's going to present the championship trophy to Adolph Rupp. We'll pick up his comments here in a moment. Kentucky tonight hit 45.2% against Illinois as they got 33 field goals on 73 shots. Illinois had more shots, 76, but hit only 24. The Illini hitting 31.4%. Thank you, Ken Kuhn. Here's Adolph Rupp moving out to receive the trophy, his 3rd championship in 4 years of the Invitational Tournament, and let's see if we can pick up Harry Combs. Well, we understand that we cannot get it, but Harry Combs, indicating that Rupp has won it for the 3rd time in 4 years, still is not up to his percentages. Adolph Rupp expressing the thanks that this is already a great Christmas present, eyeing the immense trophy as he makes the comments to the crowd here in the Coliseum, complimenting the other 3 teams in the tournament as 4 of the finest teams in the nation. Now Adolph Rupp wishing Harry Combs the best of luck and hoping Combs can take down the Big Ten championship, which he has done on 3 occasions. Harry Combs has never beaten Adolph Rupp. Here tonight, Rupp gets another win over Illinois. Kentucky has beaten Illinois for the 5th time in 7 games as Hatton, Krigler, Beck move out to get the big trophy. And the roar goes up from the crowd as the Kentucky bench moves out to take it off. Well, that's it. She's all over. 3rd place in the tournament goes to Southern Methodist as they conquered Dayton tonight, 67-59. Kentucky beat both undefeated teams in the tournament, beating SMU last night, 73-67, for the first loss for the Mustangs in 7 games. And tonight, knocking Illinois from the ranks of the undefeated, as Kentucky has a record of 6 wins and 2 defeats, exactly the record they held at the same point last year. And those are the highlights from the championship game between Kentucky and Illinois. We'd like to thank our statistician, Bob Cox, our engineer, Elvin Sutton of Lexington radio station WVLK. Now, this reminder for you to be sure to listen in on Friday and Saturday nights of next week when Standard Oil Company and Standard Oil dealers throughout Kentucky, Alabama, Florida, Georgia, and Mississippi will bring you Kentucky's games in the Sugar Bowl tournament, in which Alabama, Houston, and Virginia Tech will participate from New Orleans. Let's have jingle bells and a Merry Christmas, not sirens in a hospital bed. The National Safety Council says drive with reason this holiday season. Avoid traffic accidents.